Christopher.
Here on Mayor.
All right, we will call the meeting to order. And Jen, would you take roll, please?
Commissioner Corbin.
Here.
Commissioner Thill.
Here.
Commissioner Wellner.
Here.
Commissioner Johnson. Mayor Lindsay.
Here. You have before you the agenda for this evening.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Appearances and acknowledgements. Rory Maynard is here from the Lake Area Improvement Corporation to talk about the 2019 budget request. So with that, if you would step to the mic, I'd really appreciate it.
How are you guys?
Good.
Compared to what?
Compared to earlier today.
Not too bad.
Well, I'm just here to thank you for last year's support and all the years prior support. We couldn't do at the LAIC what we've been able to do without your support. A lot of cities I don't think support economic development as much as Madison does, and they should. So if there was a front runner of economic development support, it'd be you guys. But I think that you see the progress that's made through the LAIC. I hope you feel it's good. I think it's awesome, and I have some pretty big dreams and aspirations that I'd like to do with this town. So we're continuing to ask for the exact same amount that we asked for in previous years. I've included a budget stating what we are shooting for the next year, and if you have any questions for me, I'd love to answer anything.
Go ahead. And then just FYI in that, the LAIC is one of the committees in that I sit on the board. So I'm very familiar with their day-to-day and month-to-month activities, and it is definitely a benefit to the city of Madison.
One of the biggest projects we're working on. Oh, go ahead.
No, keep going.
One of the biggest projects that we're working on, 3 weeks ago I held a housing meeting. I just put together a meeting that I really just wanted to ask one big question. The question was, is there somebody in this town that wants to do a development, and why are they not doing it? And I knew the answer before going into the meeting, but I really wanted to get all those people in that room. We had about 60 people show up. We invited 45, so some of the people that were on the list didn't show up, and more that saw it in the paper and saw it in Facebook advertising showed up. Dakota State, the president from Dakota State gave a 45-minute presentation on what they're doing up there, and I got 4 developers to come to my office in the next short-coming days to say, we are very interested in doing a development in the city limits of Madison. And they all had the same concern. They all said the growth of those developments takes so long, it's so risky to put all of our money on the line to do something like that. If you look at the developments that have been successful, there's a few of them, but there's one of them in town I would say that's pretty successful, but it's been 30 years and it still has 5 or 6 lots available to sell. So the LAIC is really trying to help that process to get more properties on the tax roll here. It's my goal in the next 12 to 18 months to have some ground broke on some property here and to be developing more city lots for Madison. And I believe that Dakota State can't grow, Madison can't grow, the factories in this town can't grow, the overall tax base in the town can't grow unless that happens. So we're looking at 4 or 5 different properties, and we're going to help in any way that we possibly can to put together housing development for this town. So we're going to try to do it without asking a whole lot of your guys' help. You do a lot for us anyways, but there's some interesting and exciting ideas that I'm working on, and maybe if you guys want to talk about them, come down to my office, or I'll come meet with you and kind of show you what I'm planning on doing. But it's pretty exciting. I do think I'm going to get one of those 4 developers to either partner with the LAIC or do the whole thing on their own. And secondly, what that did was spark a bunch of the interest with the lenders in town. I've had an individual meeting with each one of those lenders, and they're all in support. They understand what it does for the tax base. And they understand that they can get the mortgages out of it too, so, I'm pushing it, so that's my kind of biggest objective. I'm working on about 20 other things that are as exciting to me, probably not as exciting to other people, but anyway, yeah, so.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, you've been on board, relatively new yet, but seems to be like you're settling in pretty good. It's been good for you so far, and so appreciate your work, hitting the ground running, and I agree with the housing aspect of it. And granted, DSU's got a lot of growth and things going on, but our manufacturing plants, I know they have a lot of people that have tried to live in town, and they're living in Salem, or they're living in other towns or communities. So, and I'd certainly support whatever we can do on our end. I'm kind of looking at Chad and a little bit at Corbin and Commissioner Johnson, because it's more infrastructure that would be required of the city, and also Brad, making sure we got utilities and things that's needed for it. But awesome.
Yeah, just need to keep those lines of communication open. We've got a lot of responsibility maintaining what we currently have for infrastructure, but don't be afraid to talk to these guys.
I got some ideas.
Awesome.
Keep your foot on the gas.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. Totally appreciate it if you guys would consider funding the full amount. And if you have any questions for me, please let me know. I'm excited to be in the position I'm in for the Lake area. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. And we have Eric Hortness for from the Greater Madison Area Chamber of Commerce. Again, talking on the 2019 budget request.
I also have, as most of you know, Adam Shaw. He's our vice president of our chamber board. Tom Bloom, who is our president, is on his way to New York to handle move-in duties with his son out in New York. So he was unable to make it. But ditto to what Rory said. Thank you for funding the chamber what you have funded. We're asking for the same amount as what you funded last year, which amounts to 21% of our projected 2019 budget. The rest of that will come from membership dues, grants, sponsorships, event revenue, stuff like that. A couple of things that I wanted to note, just a few of our advertisements that we do across the state, and I have them earmarked for you to take a look at. Just a few publications that we advertise in. A couple other things to note, compared to 2016, as you probably know, the tax revenue was up 4% for Madison, almost 4% in 2017. Does the chamber have all of that to work with? I don't think so. I think we play a part in that, but we certainly don't play all of it. And then, if you remember, we switched to a gift card, Mad Money, back September 1 of last year. And so we've gone about 11 months through that. And compared to 2017, January through July, and compare that to where we're at in 2018 with our gift card, that's up about $5,000 compared to 2017. So that has been a very good switch for us. Basically $5,000 more that's been spent in town than what was spent in 2017. So that's another bullet point that I wanted to make. Some of the other things that we advertise in We do a Suddenly Summer Pipestone Entertainment Guide ad, Suddenly Summer Brookings Entertainment Guide ad, just to try and attract those people over to Madison. We do some boosting of our events on Facebook. This last year we did commercials with the Southeast South Dakota Tourism Grant for some of our events. If you have VAST or SDN Communications as your cable provider, you maybe saw some of those commercials. And then obviously the big one that most recently is just downtown in Madtown. Estimated at 1,200 people downtown last week. We've had people that I know of from Woonsocket, Arlington, Sioux Falls that have come to those events. And we've got 2 more of those to continue on. And again, just I want to thank you for helping fund our budget. Obviously, without that funding, we wouldn't be able to do a lot of the things that we do. We wouldn't be able to have 3 full-time staff. The list kind of goes on and on of things that money helps provide. If Adam has anything else to piggyback on, or if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer those questions.
I do want to thank the commission for supporting the downtown in Madtown. I know it was kind of outside the box a little bit, and it's uncomfortable because I know we went away from street dances and things like that. It is changed, but we are also drawing 1,200 people back downtown, and the businesses are staying open, and they are benefiting from this, so we do appreciate that support.
Yes, and heard nothing but positive comments from everybody, and it's been a nice family event. I visited with the chief, and I'm sure Mike has too, and we've had no issues, so it's been very well received, and everyone hopes it continues again next year. Other questions or comments? Go ahead.
I was down last Tuesday night, and I heard nothing but good comments. They were really happy to see Madison do something like this. So
There's been a lot of things that have come out of the downtown and Madtown, just things that you never would have imagined that are positive, with people wanting to know what office space is available downtown, and just some of the retailers that are down there, some of the sales numbers that they've had. It's been pretty amazing, actually.
And from a city standpoint, every sale that they have, the city benefits also from sales tax. So it's a win-win for the taxpayer and the people that get to enjoy it. Any other comments? Questions?
Quick question on the MAD money. So that's working a lot better than the other way.
Definitely.
Yeah.
With the chamber buck checks, the goal was to keep all the money in town, but if somebody received change back on a check, who knows where that money went.
Right.
Walmart and Falls was cashing them. So the idea of all that money staying in Madison wasn't actually happening. So with our gift card, I don't know how it couldn't be guaranteed to be spent in Madison, because we have to set the businesses up in order for them to be able to accept it. So
Good. Good deal.
No, very good. Very good. Other questions or comments? Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming down.
thank you.
Yes. And Chris Francis is here from the Madison Area Arts Council. And again, just to address the 2019 budgets.
I'm in good company tonight.
Yes.
2 of my good friends from work we do in the city with the chamber and the LIC. I know the IC here tonight. They've been phenomenal this past year, especially. So, I'm Chris Francis. I represent the Madison Area Arts Council, and I have for the better part of almost 10 years now. Just want to give you some background of who we are. We were established in 1964, which is a very long time ago for an arts council. We were known as the Community and College Arts Association, but we're now known as the Madison Area Arts Council. We're located in downtown Madison, and the Brickhouse Community Arts Center has served as our home for 9 years. We are South Dakota's oldest active arts council, and we are regarded as one of the most innovative and progressive. We're also one of the smallest arts councils in the state. Keep that in mind as I talk about what we do. Our mission, MAC is a talented collective of community volunteers who cooperatively work together to advocate, foster, and promote the arts and culture in Madison, South Dakota. This past season, we sponsored 30 programs for our community, which is our biggest season in some 20 plus years. Our programs include live music, where we feature local, regional, and national and international musicians in our venue and throughout our community. Our shows are incredibly well regarded and are free. We always encourage donations to attend. If you come to a MAC show, you'll always be welcome, regardless. And we do that in part because of the city support we receive. We also have live recording for all of our concerts. We work with SDPB, South Dakota Public Broadcasting, to live record our concerts with no cover, no minimum radio. Our shows are literally heard across the globe, and we've heard from people from other countries, wide and far, from other states, who listen to SDPB. That's actually resulted in donations and contributions to our organization. We host fine art shows, local and regional artists for these one-night only shows and receptions, which are open free to the public again. We also host a juried annual show each year too. We also have artist workshops. We host several workshops each year with grants given to Madison High School and DSU students. So we try to keep the workshop costs as low as we can, and for students, we often allow them free to attend. We started filming this past year. We showed 6 movies this past year. Again, they are free to attend in our venue. We will expand our series this year with teaming partners coming on board. We made an investment through some community contributors, and in 2 days we had money for a screen, projector, the cables, Blu-ray player, and for the cost of the films. We raised about $2,500 in 2 days for the set Let's Try Film. It's a very small theater. We're about 42 seats, but it's an amazing experience when you have that 12.5-foot screen right in front of you. You can really feel the sound in some of these movies. We also host a number of lectures, from talks on theater and civil discourse to last year hosting the South Dakota Poet Laureate. We host probably 3, 4, 5 lectures each year. Our partners include the City of Madison, and you have been our partner for many, many years, if not every year of our existence. This past year, you provided $7,000. The South Dakota Arts Council, with the support of the National Endowment for the Arts, the NEA, provided us with $5,000 this past year. Again, that is a huge amount from the NEA to receive. For across the state, we receive more money than any other arts organization for what we have for our budget size. That's because of our history, it's because of who we are, it's how we do our programming too. We're in a very fortunate situation. The more support we receive from our partners, the more any money I can bring in. And that's been an incredibly good relationship for us. We also had about private donations and about $2,500 in 2018. We also support the programs at Dakota State University, Madison Area Chamber of Commerce, Madison Central Schools, Almost Home Canine Rescue, Madison Lake Cycling, and the Madison Public Library. More often than not, we are doing audio for these organizations or hosting benefits for them too. We do a lot of things throughout the year that often don't get the attention as an Arts Council event, which is kind of there to help. This coming week we're doing, or 2 weeks from now, we're doing the International Picnic for DSU for their audio needs. And we do a number of DSU programs. I think we're going to help out 10 different student organizations this year to help facilitate, host, and provide material need for their programs. We also provide a little bit of budget help to them too to get them started, but their programs are in our venue. We sometimes host programs at DSU in exchange. So if they provide half the funding, we provide half the funding, we go back and forth. So one show will be at our venue, the next show will be at their venue. That relationship has worked out pretty well for both the community and for us. Our future is what we're thinking in the next 3 years. Today, we're going to continue to build upon our programming and our partners. Next summer, we hope to sponsor a summer acoustic series in partnership with Downtown Madtown. We're looking at doing 3 shows prior to Downtown Madtown and 3 shows following Downtown Madtown, so the 3 weeks prior and 3 weeks after. These will be much smaller events, probably on a newly expanded curb extension program. So working with Sundog, working with Foley's or Sporties and other partners. In 2020, we're working to organize a seasonal event space in downtown Madison. And there's a lot of plans being put together right now. In the coming weeks and months ahead, I think you'll hear about those. The following year, we are looking to expand our venue into a 125-seat auditorium with more weekly programming. And that's large in part to hosting events especially. And we think about 100 125 seats to make the programs a bit more fiscally sustainable for us. We can start looking at doing a ticketed series to offset some of the costs. That seems to be the sweet spot for what we need for seating. 42 seats is pretty good for us, and standing room we can always host a few more, but it's not necessarily a sustainable model. It's a cheap model, it's just not one that provides us means to grow. If we get to that 100 125 seats, it does work out a little better on the numbers for us. We can offset our costs a little more. And we do see our audience growing at each show. We see that we have more people in the audience, and that's a good problem to have. And in the future, we're going to continue to be one of the best arts providers in our state. So going forward, we are working to secure more partners and a wider audience. We've new relationships this past year with the Chamber of Commerce, for instance, and many others. And that has done a great deal for our organization. Working with Downtown Madtown, that's the biggest event I've been part of since my time in Madison, and that's an amazing thing that's seen come together in such a short amount of time. We also have pride for our artist-centric mindset, which benefits our community. We are unique in the sense that we promise fair pay for our artists, and we do everything we can to get artists to come to our community. Getting artists to stop in Madison when they're on tour from Minneapolis to Seattle is often a tough thing to do, but we make it happen and make it work. We're often regarded as the best stop on any tour. We provide a hotel, we feed our artists, we treat them incredibly well, and they want to come back. Not just that they want to come back, their friends want to come back. I can't book all the artists who want to play with us each year. We just don't have the resources to do it. But be able to get those kind of performers in our community benefits us in a great way. It's just nice to have these programs. Tonight, we are looking for your continued and increased support as we grow and build. This past year we asked and we received 7,000. This year I am asking for a bit of a jump to 10,000. That would enable me to give me a bit more cushion. We go to do some of our programming, bring in a few more shows each year, give us a bit more sustainability this coming year.
Questions or comments?
Sounds like you have a lot of exciting things going on.
We do a lot of things. People are surprised, like, you do that? Like, yeah, the Arts Council does that. I go, oh. Now, often people find us and just walk in the door downtown. We've been down there about 10 years, and we get to the point now where seemingly most people are familiar with our building, and now they're starting to step in and like, oh, I didn't know this was here. This is really cool. It's kind of fun to see when you have a concert. We're bringing in artists that often have reviews in Rolling Stone or have been reviewed on NPR. We've played amazing stages, and they're playing in Madison, South Dakota for a night to a town of 7,000, and it's pretty darn cool. It's exciting.
We ran through some of the stuff with you. We keep going, but thinking about that, Jeremiah's question is that so many things going on. Maybe I'm not reading the science enough, but it's amazing.
We're a very small organization. We do have our signage in front of the building. We do a lot of things with Facebook and Twitter and online. We do a lot of spreading the word in town, the word of mouth. That's probably our best means of communicating with word of mouth. If you come to one show, you're likely to tell your friends, your neighbors about the next show. And that's been our best model for sharing what it is we do. It's unique. Not every town has an arts council like this. It should. And I like where we are in our community. I like what we do. I like what we invested in downtown. Even after some of the trials we've had downtown in the past years, we've stuck it out. We really see downtown really developing around us, especially in that part of the community. When we first took on our building, we had wings across the street, but also wings behind us too. And I heard more people at, this is a crazy place to be, why would you do that? And within a year or two, East River had begun their construction behind us, and now this past year, that part of the community is really been refreshing. I like that we're right there. I think it's a great location for us. And it's kind of a gem for our community, I find. And there's a lot of history, too. We're trying to keep our history as being the state's oldest arts council going. Some point of pride.
Very good. Other questions, comments?
I'm allergic to spending money.
I'm with you, Mike. I'm with you. But we're spending money on the arts, and that comes right back to us. So.
Yeah, it's not just you. Everything.
Goes right back to Chamber and LAC too. I know we cost for what we do, but the cost is very small to what the community gets back. And I think we can see even downtown Madtown how much growth and energy that's developed for our community. That event doesn't cost very much. We're a partner, we're a sponsor of that program. We put our money where our mouth is. We can do a lot in our community, and the arts are one means of doing that. And there's a lot of other ways of doing it too, but this is what we're good at. So,
Nope, very good.
Thanks for the
Very good.
request.
yeah.
We'll see what we can do.
Yes. All
Thanks,
right.
guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
for coming.
And number 4, acknowledge the retail on-sale liquor license transfer application and set a date of hearing. Hideaway Investments LLC, Teasers Bar, to LTZ LLC, Hot Shots Bar. Okay. And Jen, everything's in order, and
Everything's in order. You will see lots of liquor on your agenda
What?
this evening.
mhm.
This is a transfer back to our friend Mr. Gates, who was in the office today. Everything is in order. We'll see him, the date of hearing date, September 4th, I believe.
September 4th, 2018, 5:30. Okay. If no questions or comments in that, do we have a motion to acknowledge?
I'll make a
And set.
motion, we acknowledge the retail liquor license transfer application, set the date of hearing for September 4th at 5:30. Hideaway Investments, Teasers to LTZ Hot Shots Bar.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Number 5, acknowledge the retail on-off sale malt beverage license transfer application, set a date of hearing. Solbret LLC, Scooby's Convenience, to Classic Convenience Incorporated, Dakota Express. And again, everything is in order on this one too, Jen?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Note that this is a package, or what we normally refer to as a package, your retail on-off sale malt beverage.
Mhm.
Scooby's Convenience is going to Mr. Kaufman and his partner, Mr. Goff.
And that date, I believe, is the same time, September 4th.
It is, please.
Mhm.
Is there a limit to how many packaged liquor license you can have?
Not packaged liquor
Right.
or on or off sale, just the liquor licenses.
Do you mean in the city, or do you mean as a one?
I'm
that-
just throwing it out there.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
There are limits,
On-
package is not, you're correct.
Right.
There's liquor license limits, but there are
Yes.
not on package.
Correct.
But you will note on your application that it does ask every applicant how many they possess.
So
How
if
many
we're
they
talking
have.
about that, how many liquor licenses are available in the city of Madison?
Liquor?
Available, you're gonna have to
Liquor.
For the number, they're all gone though. There's nothing
I'm
to
looking to
apply.
buy, I just wondering, you know.
And are those apportioned by population?
Population.
Population, however, we have way more than our population would allow, but we were grandfathered in back in 1986 or something
Mhm.
similar, when they changed the codified law.
Liquor licenses.
Yep.
Just have to keep an eye on Mr. Kaufman's empire he's building here. When's the hearing? I'm sorry. Same day?
September 4th, 5:30 or as soon as thereafter.
Perfect. I'll make a motion to acknowledge retail malt beverage license transfer application, set a date of hearing for, when was it?
September
September
4th.
Thank you. I'm having a hard time acknowledging that is the date we're having a meeting. Set a date of hearing, September 4th. Solbert LLC, Scooby's Convenience, the Classic Convenience, Dakota Express.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Is there anything anyone wants removed from the consent calendar? If not, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Under old business, hearing upon the application for the sale of alcoholic beverages, transfer of retail on-sale liquor license, Cherry Bar LLC, Cherry Lanes Bar, to Cherry Bowl LLC, Cherry Lanes. Okay, is there anyone here that wants to speak to that?
Sure. Yeah.
Sure. If you would come to the microphone and that, we'd really appreciate it. That way those people who listen to it at home and that can hear, much better and that's what was said.
All right. Yeah, I just want
You tell us who you are.
to, Mitch Schneider.
Okay?
I'll be the owner of Cherry Bowl LLC.
Okay.
Are you changing the name?
No,
Okay.
it'll be Cherry Lanes.
Very good.
Mitch Schneider's trade.
Very good.
A lot of cherry there.
Yes. Yep.
I guess we can transfer whatever needs to be
No,
done.
very good.
And again, all was in order.
All is in order? All right, and so this here is the application, and so what we're going to do next is we're going to just move on to new business number 1, which is approve the application for the sale of alcoholic beverages, transfer of retail on-sale liquor license, Cherry Bar LLC, Cherry Lanes Bar, to Cherry Bowl LLC, Cherry Lanes. So, any questions or comments?
Any law enforcement concerns?
Nope. As long as,
Excellent.
you know the rules, and
Mhm.
so he's been working there and kind of managing and running it for a number of years, and so he's well aware of the industry. So
Oh, very good.
with that, I'll make a motion that we approve application for sale of alcoholic beverages, transfer of retail on-sale liquor license, Cherry Bar, Cherry Lanes Bar, to Cherry Bowl LLC, Cherry Lanes.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you and good luck.
Yep.
Thanks
Best of
for
luck to you,
coming.
Mitch.
Yes. Number 2, authorize the mayor to sign the application with Dakota State University, permit to occupy the right-of-way, Washington Avenue and Northeast 8th Street, approximately 3 feet east. And Chad, I'm going to ask you to address that.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Included in the agenda packet is the application from Dakota State University. And I sent around a simple map, a little excerpt from the beacon system. It shows at the southeast quadrant of the intersection of 8th and Washington, Dakota State University has installed a concrete parking area with a bit of a retaining wall and a handrail next to the sidewalk on the south side of Northeast 8th Street. This was done a couple years ago, and because of the next item on the agenda, I thought it would be good to memorialize this. Perhaps it should have been done then. We didn't raise any issue with it. We thought, well, they're going to be coming. Let's fill this out as well. But anytime something is placed in the right-of-way, this is the tool or the instrument that we use as a permit to occupy right-of-way. Just document it's there, give you an opportunity to review it, approve it, and then we put these in the file. It's a standard form we've used for many years, and I would recommend that we approve this one.
Questions or comments? All right, if not, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion we authorize the mayor to sign application, Dakota State University permit to occupy a right-of-way on Washington Avenue and Northeast 8th.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Number 3, authorize the mayor to sign the application, Dakota State University, permit to occupy the right-of-way, Washington Avenue and Northeast 8th Street, approximately 150 feet south. And again, Chad, I'll ask you to address that.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Included in the agenda packet is another application, and this is for a handrail. As I alluded to this one just a few moments ago on a previous agenda item, I had observed a handrail erected in the right-of-way last week, and I called the staff there promptly. Wanted to visit with them a little bit about it, and they had explained they've had a number of issues with students crossing in various places and some poor concrete. So when that was in need of replacement, so he desired to install this handrail to sort of for safety to direct the students to the crossings. And so I like I mentioned in the last application or item on the agenda is if something's erected in a right-of-way, really it should be something that the commission or the city in some form or fashion acknowledges and approves. And so that's why this form has been completed by Mr. Kruzmark signed it. I coordinated with Corey Braskamp about this matter. You know, it talks about different indemnifications that the applicant provides to the city. And then, of course, if we ever need to work in the right-of-way, you know, it would be, I would expect it would be removed at outside, you know, at the cost of the city. And also, again, I've mentioned to the indemnification clause here, if there's any liability or something like that, we should be protected, I believe, with this form. So I would also recommend approval of this.
Yeah, and it's, you know, right where the students walk out of the student union, and different times I've seen people coming out of there and they're looking at their cell phone and just walking straight ahead. And now they either have to duck under it or go under it, or else it'll become the stop point before they step out in front of traffic. So I'm glad to see it, and that it is, you know, an improvement for safety's sake, you know, in that particular area. So.
I'm assuming that, not assuming it, you said, just for clarification, that this really is to try to, as the mayor said, to direct students to cross the appropriate places as opposed to just anywhere. Because that had become a problem. We had some falls on that, and it's not, you know, people being ill-willed or anything. They just crossing just about any time, and as opposed to crossings, you know. So this is an effort to try to redirect to the crossings.
That's how they explained it to me, yes.
Yeah. Hopefully. But it does create some congestion there in Washington. So. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Very good.
I guess I'd like to know who's going to be responsible for this handrail if it gets broke off in the wintertime when you're pushing snow, or do we have to come up and clean the windrow out of there afterwards?
I talked to Gary Gagno, street superintendent, and we both agreed and that it would not be our responsibility for any damage or extra cleaning of snow and so on. And so I would submit that we would maintain that as far as snow removal in the same fashion that we do now. Any additional snow removal, I know the college in that area has a fair amount of activity with their snow removal processes, so I see it as not being an extra burden on the city. If it starts to be an issue, I think we need to just visit with them about it. Hopefully it doesn't create any damage to it by the windrow or any extra maintenance hassles on our end, but I don't anticipate there being any. I did talk with Gary about it though, so thanks for bringing that up.
What would be nice is if it just slid underneath there, but
yeah,
it can't always happen that way.
Yeah.
You'll have to donate so they can build a skywalk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in that area and outside of that building, excuse me, I think their snow removal is pretty intensive, and because it's a major walkway, and I'm happy to see the rail Commissioner Johnson pointed out for, and the mayor for traffic of the students, but it also helps traffic flow. I mean, obviously Washington's a major corridor for us, and when you got 6 students walking like this, and cars got to stop 2 or 3 times other than the 2 designated areas, it just really congests a lot of traffic and everything in that area. So, yeah, I think it was a good idea to do it. And I think now they maybe know some of the right-of-way rules, and so.
Very good.
I like the idea for the safety for the children and stuff, so
Yes.
I'll make a motion that we authorize you to sign the application for Dakota State, permit the occupied right-of-way, Washington Avenue, Northeast 8th, 150 feet south.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Resolution 2018-18, approve a plat, Dean Reineke's addition. Chad, do you want to address that?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Included in the agenda packet is a plat for said addition, several pages, 3 pages of the plat with various signature blocks and such. This plat, this parcel is outside the city limits. However, the city does have some jurisdiction to review plats and various subdivision requirements therein. And so this one is right next to city limits, actually. So we, Mandy at the county had contacted me about this, and we talked about it and thought it would be appropriate to bring it through our process as well. There was no changes required by our processes for this particular plat, with the exception that we had observed that this road that's on the west side of this plat is the road, well, it's 456th Street. It's the road on the east side of John Deere, but it's the north side of the highway there. That it's a collector or an arterial, and that requires additional right-of-way to be dedicated. And so the typical statutory 33-foot right-of-way on the east side of the section line is already dedicated, and then so an additional 17 feet was dedicated along this and adjacent to this plat. As I mentioned, it went through our planning commission already. They did recommend approval, and I'd also recommend approval of the plat.
Deb, did you want to have anything you want to?
I'm not here to pick it up and take it back, so
No?
county can.
Sounds good. Sounds good. And I did sit through that planning and zoning meeting and that, and did not see any issues in that with this, and so they moved forward with approval, and I feel the same way.
Is part of it in the floodplain?
Maybe Ms. Renick,
Are you going to build in the floodplain?
It's not.
No.
We're extending our land for future purposes. Well, the building that sits there now does not sit on Reinke construction land, it sits on Dean. So you gotta think of the future.
Sure.
There used to be a golf course there, and you dug a gravel pit?
It was a golf course long before you and I were around.
Okay.
I think it was a 9-holer.
Still a
Sounds
golf
nice.
course, just a bigger hole.
No.
Even I can make it into that.
I was going to say the holes are still
Even
out
I
on
can
the-
make it into that pit.
Just north of Pete Stemper's there was 48 acres, that was called the Madison Golf Course. And,
Now it's the rifle range.
well, on our property, yeah,
Yes.
but Mr. Dean bought it in front of the courthouse. It came up for county auction years ago.
Any problems with this, Chad?
No, I don't have any.
Is there anything we can do, or are we just acknowledging it?
There is a resolution that's on the agenda for approval, and that's our typical resolution, which basically you endorse. It says, "City Commission hereby directed to endorse such a plan, a copy of the resolution, and certify the same thereon." So basically, you approve it, approve the plat. You're providing your review and approval of this plat.
Then it goes to the county tomorrow morning, and then they will continue to move forward.
I don't know, I thought we might wait a week or two before we make a decision on this, but.
We're gonna wait a week.
Not gonna-
I'll make a motion, we approve resolution number 2018-18.
Aren't you glad you're
Approve a plat,
retired?
Dean Reineke's edition.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Number 5, declare as surplus property and appoint appraisers for scrap wire and scrap miscellaneous. And Brad, did you want to address that?
Yes, Your Honor. This is just the typical material that's been removed on the wreck out from the 2017 upgrade project. And we had a dumpster full of it and looked at it, said they'd offered us an amount of money more or less of what we could sell it for. So that's what we appraised it at, and it's time to send it down the road.
Well, very good.
Like to have appraisers appointed in myself, Commissioner Corbin, and Chad Combs.
Okay, and with that, any questions or comments? If not, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to declare surplus property and appoint appraisers Jeremiah Corbin, Brad Lawrence, Chad Comas for scrap wire, scrap miscellaneous.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Jen, do we have any public comments? All right, well, seeing no announcements, no executive session, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Yes, all right, very good.